Hello and welcome to the Power of Healing Your Energy. My name is Christine. I'm with 24 Karat Healing, and healing begins where the ego ends. I'm your old soul empath, intuitive energy coach, and healer. A little bit about me very quickly. I healed my depression and anxiety through a 360-degree approach that includes meditation, intuition development, healthy eating, emotional trauma release, shadow integration, also known as ego. I help women heal their ego at a 360-degree level, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, because they're all connected. Accelerating inner healing to bring you back to the unconditional love that has always been with you from the beginning. In this is episode number 7, and it happens to be August 7th as well. And the show, this is very interesting. This is lining up here. The 7 pillars of alignment with money goals. Holy smokes, okay? I digress. Obviously, this is a divine intervention, the collective, the universe, whatever it is, it's happening today. And in today's episode, Jillian will be talking about the 7 pillars of alignment and money goals. We all have blocks about money, even myself. Lack, security, and Jillian is here to muscle test each one. I just want to say quickly, hi to Jillian, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being my first guest. I'm super excited, and please everyone, share this out. Share. You never know who will benefit from this. And don't just think of yourself, just share it, share the love out with others. So a little bit about Jillian. She has been a healer for over 25 years and has accumulated a wealth of energy psychology modalities to clear a wide variety of challenges. It was her time working with Behaviour Support in Ontario, yes, we're Canadian, that triggered a deep empathy for those dealing with emotional triggers as she watched the elderly struggling with the overwhelm of childhood emotional trauma. That trigger began the process of writing and self-publishing her first book, Kinetic Divination. Now, Kinetic Divination has since been used to show solo bosses, kind of like myself and Jillian, how emotional triggers and subconscious blocks can be tested, shifted, and anchored to create a prosperous and abundant life. That sounds amazing. Jillian has 3 self-published books and 1 soon to be published by Hay House. That's pretty special as well. Her mission is to empower women, spiritual entrepreneurs who feel stuck below an unsatisfactory income ceiling by dissolving old stories and teaching tools that propel them into the ease of conscious creation and actualization. Oh boy. Yes, being self-actualized. How about that? Get yourself comfy, settle in, and join the conversation with Jillian, the collective energy, and myself by leaving comments and questions below. Wow. Okay. That was an amazing bio. You're an amazing lady. You're doing some wonderful things, and welcome again. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And I just want to talk about the 7 pillars of alignment with money goals. I guess just give us a brief, hypnosis of what that is.
Yeah.
Snapshot.
So when I was writing Kinetic Divination and using Kinetic Divination with my clients, I noticed when we muscle tested blocks and energetic resonance, and then we started to shift into alignment with their goals, I noticed these little triggers coming up, these emotional triggers. And a lot of them had to do with these 7 pillars that were out of alignment. So I compiled a list of these 7 pillars. Now I do muscle test using a pendulum, and I muscle test for my clients distally. So it's like I'm connecting with my client and to do a Reiki session over distance. But instead of doing Reiki, I'm muscle testing.
Okay.
So I've compiled a list of, I have over 20 now, pendulum charts that I use with my clients to muscle test what is going on, their percentage of alignment, their percentage of misalignment. And one of the pendulum charts is, of course, the 7 pillars. So the 7 pillars are these really structural foundation in our manifesting of our goals and our desires. If one of these is off, there's a potential that you won't see your manifestation appear. It might appear, but it just might take a long, long time. So once we work with these 7 pillars and get them all in alignment, then we can create with ease.
Okay. Amazing, amazing. And I'm sure that took you some time to develop, and I guess it has to be tried and tested. Is that
well, I actually, when I kind of got the download of Kinetic Divination really quickly over 2 years ago. Okay. And I was actually watching a video about of a solo boss who is doing really, really well. And she was talking about raising your income ceiling. So she was talking about going from $2,000 a month to $5,000 a month to $8,000 a month. And she then said she couldn't imagine a month where she was bringing in consistently less than 100,000.
Okay.
And my brain just went, what? How is that possible? I only have 24 hours in a day. I can't work that many jobs, right? So I immediately went, okay, I have some blocks here. So what else is possible? And all of this information started coming to me. Then there's a huge download of, you can muscle test, you can use NLP and EFT and Reiki and quantum healing tools to shift into alignment with things. So the first download of Kinetic Divination was really fascinating, and I was super excited about it. I was so excited that I just stayed up and wrote a book and published a book immediately. But since then, using it with clients, and I now teach this system to other healers so that they can use it in their business. And it's just kind of morphed into this massive healing system that incorporates 8 healing modalities. So the 7 pillars is actually quite new. It only kind of emerged in the last 6 months or so that I finally realized, oh, okay, all of these things are coming up again and again and again. Mm-hmm. So these are these 7 things that really need to be the foundation of growing from and coming from in a place of security and strength so that we can manifest easily.
Amazing. So I guess over, discovering all of that and testing and trying everything out and just paying attention, out of the 7 pillars, which one, I guess, to you stands out is I won't say the most important, but keeps coming up time and time.
Yeah, it almost is most important, because if you don't have this, then the other ones kind of fall by the wayside. But the most important one is belief.
Belief. Yes. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I believe in that one for sure. I mean, my word, I picked a word at the beginning of 2019. I don't know. Instead of doing like a resolution for the new year, I decided to choose a word, and my word was intention. But with intention, there has to be belief. So they go hand in hand. I find that very, very interesting. And then if you want to talk about blocks, what seems to be the biggest block that would show up in the people that you work with?
Aside belief, it could be another one of the pillars, which is trust. Trust.
Okay. Now, is that trust for self, trust with others, or just trust in general?
It's both. It's self-trust,
and
it's trust in the universe.
Okay.
Yeah. And we can actually tap in. So you work a lot with chakras.
Yes.
We can actually tap in with these 7 pillars and we can actually hone in and muscle test. So this is a very deep process because we are, like you said, multidimensional. We have all of these components of ourself: the body, the conscious mind, the spirit, the conscious, subconscious, and spirit, I like to say. So we can muscle test and see which chakra is most aligned with these pillars.
Mm-hmm.
And we can muscle test which chakra is most out of alignment with these pillars.
Okay.
So, or with our manifestation as well. So it's a really cool process to be able to muscle test and see what is going on kind of underneath the surface.
There we go. Here I am, I'm just fiddling. I'm listening, but I'm also trying to keep engaged here as well.
Yeah.
Let me know if this is your first time being here. Let me know where you're from. If you have any struggles in regards to blocks, any money goals that you have, please ask any questions you have as well, whether you're live or you're on the replay. We'll make it happen that, I do answer every question that comes up. And if I can't do it, of course, Jillian, I'll pass that on to her as well. So I guess who is you say solo or spiritual entrepreneurs, obviously they're women, but you're saying do you just deal with mainly healers, or who is your, I guess, target market?
A lot of my clients are healers.
Okay.
I'm an intuitive healer. I'm an empath. And like we were talking about before we went live, we sort of attract who we are.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so I really do. But I do a lot of people. There's some corporate entrepreneurs who are in corporate and want to make the jump into entrepreneurship. So they're kind of gravitating towards me now because of this method and testing and tapping into what blocks we are. And this is also mindset too. Yeah, so I really do. Oh, sorry. When someone's trying to jump from corporate or from
looks like I lost a little bit of sound here for some reason. There we go.
So
sorry.
They're kind of gravitating towards me now because of this method.
All right.
And testing and tapping.
I'm just going to close that here for a minute.
Mindset too. Yeah, so I really do.
Okay, sorry about that. I've got a little bit of technical issues. It looks like I'm duplicating myself when it comes to talking. So, hi, Lynn. Thank you for joining. She's in training right now and she can't listen, but I know she'll come back. So I'm just going to.
If anybody is here with us and wants me to test for them.
Okay, sorry, I had to close something. There we go, because I can't hear anything.
Oh.
All right. Well, you got to love Facebook. It says start a watch party, so you do that, but then you're hearing yourself as it's going. And no, that's not happening. All right. Sorry about that.
We're on, I'm on a computer. When I'm on my phone, like the screen is so small and my fingers just feel like giants, right? So I can't click on anything. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, no, and here I am thinking I can do multitask, and I know that's not possible. So I've learned that, you're actually doing less if you're multitasking. So
I know.
I challenge anyone to tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. Sorry about that. So if anybody is looking for, we're not going to run through all 7 pillars of alignment and money goals, but if someone is looking for that, do you have something like a little freebie for someone?
Yeah, well, I will run through what the 7 pillars are, but if you want an in-depth of what the background of them is, what that means, then I do have a free PDF that people can grab. But as I talked about, the most important pillar is belief. Yes. Belief has to be on board when you're trying to manifest or when you're trying to connect with your ideal monthly income. You have to believe that that's possible for you. So the next one would be trust.
Trust.
With the
Right.
trust in yourself or trust in the universe, whatever your faith or belief is around, if it's spiritual or religion, whatever that is, you just trust in yourself and trust in that power. The third one is safety. Especially with money.
Okay.
There needs to be a feeling of safety. Money comes to safety. And safety is, like we talked about before, safety is one of the triggers of the root chakra. So safety has to be on board.
Definitely.
The fourth one is worth.
Okay. That's a big one.
Yes. Worth. The fifth one is deserving. And a lot of people get those mixed up. But when I talk about worth, I'm saying value.
Okay.
You feel you are valuable, or your gifts are valuable. Deserving is you deserve to receive.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. And I honestly, those two right there, that I struggled with, definitely. Yes. So I can resonate with that.
Yeah, me too. So when I shifted deserving, so many things started to just open up for me.
Okay.
It was unbelievable. It's like magic. It's like finally that peg gets put into the hole, or that puzzle piece fits in. Deserving, but as I said, all of these are so important. All of these are really, really important. Yes. So 6 is confidence.
Well, yeah, of course. And I mean, they all work together.
Yes.
Do they not?
Yes.
Okay.
Most definitely.
So,
the last one.
Yes.
Is allowing.
Allowing. Okay. So I want to go back to worth. I believe. Well, I'm not. Are you familiar with Brené Brown? I've pretty much read and watched everything she does and has to say. And she ties worth and all of that actually to shame. Shame seems to be very prevalent for women. Yeah. Do you work on that as well?
Well, we talked again before we went live. We were talking about we attract people who mirror our shadow aspect.
Yes.
So with my healing system called Kinetic Divination, the first component of Kinetic Divination is muscle testing. I use a triangle in my logos, so I kind of see it as a triangle. So the second component is the body sync. So we go in and we actually, if we muscle test that we're out of alignment with something, then we go into the body sync and we shift into alignment and we dissolve the trigger or trauma that's blocking us. And then the third component is reframing and creating the anchor statement, anchor image to program our subconscious mind to work for us to get that thing.
There we go.
Body sync. Now, the body sync goes into the shadow aspects, which are 7 as well. There are 7 shadow aspects because the shadow aspects are components of our chakras. Mm-hmm. And they come from our chakras. I gravitate and I pull people to me who have a solar plexus shadow aspect or shadow trigger.
Okay, yeah.
That trigger is shame.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. That's cool. I learned something. I love learning, so this is great.
And we talked before about my love of Dr. David Hawkins and his map of consciousness. The first thing that I do is I muscle test someone, my clients or my students' energetic baseline, because as the map of consciousness states, our baselines, our energy runs from 20 megahertz all the way to 1,000 megahertz. So that can range from shame, which is 20, the lowest, to enlightenment, which is 1,000, the highest. And Dr. Hawkins tells us that we need to be at an energetic resonance of 200 megahertz or above to be able to create in our life with ease and create from a place of power instead of a place of forcing things to emerge in our life. So if we are below 200 megahertz, we might feel like we're frustrated a lot of the time, or angry, or jealous, or in grief, or in guilt, or in shame. And I sat in shame for decades. So that's a little bit of a backstory why this is so important to me. And I attract people who have that shame trigger as well.
Okay.
So this is why this work is so important, is because physical manifestations like sickness, disease, illness begin to manifest if you're at an energetic resonance below 42.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. Definitely. That makes sense.
And I developed breast cancer when I was 36.
Oh my goodness.
So sitting in the resonance of shame for decades, and
Yeah.
I truly believe that this was the majority of the cause of my breast cancer, because my energy was at such a low resonance, and the death sequence begins at 15 megahertz, and shame is 20.
Okay. So to me, when I hear that, I hear low vibe, like the lowest of the low vibe. A lot of darkness. It's like, when you say you manifest something and you always think it's wonderful. Right. When you're talking about that, you manifested cancer. I hate to say that, but that's how I felt. And what a strong connection between the two. I mean, geez, you know how they say you either make time for your wellness or you make time for your illness? It's so significant.
It really is.
Yeah, wow. And how are you now?
I've raised my resonance, and I still go back. I'm fine right now. They haven't said cure or remission to me yet, but they've moved my appointments from every 6 months to every year. So that to me is a win. And because they say I was so young to have it, which I get emotionally triggered by, because there are children who have cancer.
True.
Right. But they say I was so young to have cancer. They wanted me to be every 6 months.
Okay.
They did a couple of years ago thought they saw something else. I had lumpectomy removed from my left breast. They thought they saw something in my right. And they wanted me to go back onto the toxic, very, very toxic medication. And I said, you prove to me that it's growing, and you do another image. And if that other image shows that it's growing, then we'll talk about the medication. And I did work on myself, and I made sure to raise my resonance and sit in, gratitude and be in those higher vibes. And when I went back, it was gone. It wasn't there.
Amazing. Well, I'm so glad you're here. So glad you're healthy. And we're going to send out more, love and light and blessings for you. And
that's why this work is so important. It's important for people to be able to know that they can muscle test themselves, to know that they can check in with their energetic resonance, that they can change their energetic resonance. These tools are available for everyone. When I work with a client, I used to do Reiki and therapeutic touch and reflexology.
Okay.
And people would come to me with these ailments, which, as we know as healers, like the triangle again, your physical body's on the bottom, your thoughts come up and drip back down to manifest physically in your physical body. And so you'd get off the massage table, or you'd come out of the Reiki session and you'd feel fabulous, but then you go back to your life and the habits and the habitual thinking and the ego. And those physical ailments just manifest again. So that really frustrated me. But with this system, when I have my clients and my students, I teach them the tools that I use. I don't just do my thing. You're learning what I do so that you can continue doing that in your life. And that to me is the most important. You're empowering yourself by learning this information.
Amazing. Yeah. Empowering. Yeah. Empowerment. Manifest transformation. That again, I don't know what's going on here. I'm just channeling whatever comes through.
That's awesome.
And just keeping that throat chakra open too. So there's a lot of.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there's always a link. I don't know if because I work with a lot of people who have solar plexus stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the solar plexus shadow aspect is shame.
Okay.
And the solar plexus is always linked with the throat chakra, always.
Makes sense, because that's your power center, and you speak your truth is to speak your power.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Quickly, Kelly says she's on a break. Thank you, Kelly. She's one of my biggest supporters next to Lynn. But she'll take the freebie PDF, and I just want to put that out there again. If you're looking for the 7 pillars, it's a freebie, a PDF. Jillian would be happy to send that to you. So just comment below that you want the freebie, and we'll send that out to you. All right. And even if this is on the replay, it doesn't matter. I'm always checking comments. I always try to be very interactive as much as I can, and let people know that they're more than just a number. So, and you're talking about raising the vibration. And when I think of that, I mean, before we came on to the show live, myself, I like to use, this is just me, my Buddha bowl. And sometimes I listen to healing frequencies, delta waves, even music, just regular music. I know you play guitar, or if there's some type of instrument that's transmitting, right, sound, or some type of raising your energy vibrations. But you're talking about hertz as well. So what else do you recommend to raise your vibration?
Gratitude work, for sure.
Okay.
So when like I said, when I muscle test, I'm using a pendulum to muscle test, and I use my pendulum a little bit differently. So I wrap it around my finger. Okay. And people can see that, like, I'll test my energetic resonance right now. So if people, so if somebody is at a really low resonance, so over here would be low. And if I'm testing them, I can actually hold the pendulum here, and I can say to them, I want you to think of one person that you absolutely adore. You're grateful that they're in your life. Think of that person, and they'll think of that one person, and you'll watch the pendulum moving up in resonance as they're thinking of that person. So it's that easy.
Okay. Very nice. I don't know if there's anybody that wants to. Are you willing to muscle test someone?
Yeah, that'd be great.
It looks like we had 2 ladies, but and of course we can only. You're saying you prefer to do this live, right? If you're going to muscle test someone.
If I am going to muscle test somebody, yes, I do on the live. It's hard on the replay because we could get 50 people coming in saying, show me what's my baseline, and then
Yes. Fair enough. Well, if anybody, as far as I can see, I don't have anybody online at the moment.
That's
from what I see. So you know what?
Views coming in and out. So
yes.
Yeah,
people coming in and out. I mean, like I said, I don't hide anything. I try to be as vulnerable as possible. So if nobody shows up, I'd be more than happy to be to be tested if that's something you'd like to do.
Yeah.
But I'm putting that out to everybody else if they want to be muscle tested here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what comes up.
Yeah. Well, we can do, and you can let me know. So I do so many different things, but we're talking about the 7 pillars.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can do is I can check in with your energetic baseline.
Sure.
And then we can check in with the 7 pillars of alignment with a goal that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And because you work a lot with chakras, we can actually test your most powerful 7 pillar. And then the 7 pillar that needs a little bit of work.
Yep.
And which chakra would be the best to align with that 7 pillar that needs some extra love.
Yes.
So that you can work with that chakra and with that 7 pillar to build that up.
Okay. Okay, cool.
I will go into a little bit, well, actually, so it's okay if I tap into your energy. We're communicating, so we are.
Yes, of course.
Of course. Okay, so here I try to lift it up so that you guys can see the pendulum and the chart. Good. So you're just about 450, so in between understanding and love.
Okay. Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah. So that is your baseline resonance. So there's a difference between energetic resonance and your energetic baseline.
Okay.
Your baseline is your home frequency.
Gotcha.
That's your port. So when you're by yourself, when you're not triggered by anybody, that's where you go back to.
Okay.
When we go out through the day, because we're empathic, we're intuitive.
Yes.
We're emotional beings, and we're mostly water. Our energetic resonance fluctuates all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. We just allow that to happen. I tell my students and my clients all the time that our emotions are only feedback. Our emotions are not to sit in for weeks or decades. They're only feedback. So that's important to know what your baseline is, because if you have a lower baseline, then like we were talking about with the shame and the illness setting in, it's really, really important to raise that resonance. And you can do that really quite easily. I have another PDF called Shift from Fear. If anybody wants to replay, if they want to write in Shift from Fear, then I will send you that PDF, because it is so important to raise your resonance from those lower resonance. So if you feel like you're in shame all the time, and you know this, like I would even be, when you sit in shame, everything triggers your shame. Everything.
Yeah.
It is shame and guilt are the ones that everything that happens around you, you take it in as, oh, I caused that. I'm guilty, right? Fear or jealousy aren't always triggered. They're a little bit higher in resonance. They're still below 200. But it's the guilt and the shame that you really know if you're there, because everything that happens around you triggers that shame or triggers the guilt. So you really do know. You don't have to be super psychic or intuitive or sensitive to know what your baseline is. You should realize that if things are happening around you and your immediate response is guilt or shame or fear or jealousy or anger or courage or willingness or love, you really see what your reactions are. That will tell you what your baseline is.
True enough. No, that makes a lot of sense. That's why I highly recommend meditation, to be the observer and not the reactor. That takes training. I mean, it's a whole bunch of things, but I always say start with meditation, because I feel we tend to have that monkey mind, or it's a runaway train, or you went down the proverbial rabbit hole and you can't get out, right?
Yeah.
It's
with NLP, it's really nice to have an anchor point in the body. So if you do breath work, like I all the time do the alpha breath, which brings us back to, instead of beta brainwave, it comes down into alpha brainwave.
Yes. Yeah.
But when you're meditating, or when you get into that state of calm and that power center, you can actually use the karate chop point, which is on the side of the hand. You can actually tap that.
Okay.
To anchor in. That's the feeling that I want to feel all the time. All the time.
True enough. Okay, I'm doing it, right? Everybody do it. Just try it, right? Yeah, I've seen tapping as well. And I have, and then there's hypnotherapy. There's so many modalities. Really, I just encourage people to try what resonates with them. And if you want to try it all. And then
I'm a collector, I'll admit it. I'm a collector of healing modalities. I love it.
Me too. Me too. I mean, there's Hopono, there's Qigong,
Yeah.
there's Qigong. I have a friend that he's a master Qigong, a gentleman out of England, and he's all, you know, very similar in what we do. It's just a different modality. And he's a pretty amazing guy. Then I know someone else that's coming on the show. I'm really hoping to have him on, but he is also a hypnotherapist, and that's all he does, day in, day out. That's what he does. So I'm just glad to have you on the show and helping other, you know, people like try something that maybe they never thought of, or maybe they did and now they're open to it.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into your 7 pillars, and I see a person. So if you guys want, I can check in with your baseline. I can check in with your 7 pillars by muscle testing. Now, with muscle testing, I actually, when I started learning about muscle testing, I wasn't able to muscle test myself because I was sitting at the resonance of 20, and you need to be at 200 to accurately muscle test yourself.
Okay.
So even when you learn things about modalities, keep with it, because I still kept that interest, but I wasn't able to do it until I found out the reason why. My resonance was way too low.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, so did you want to check in with your?
Sure. Well, I've got one person watching right now. I know people have come in and out, but if you're interested in being muscle tested by the lovely Jillian, comment below and we'll get you set up. She did start with myself, but we see that there's somebody here I know you're curious. Don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be shy.
If you're curious, you're here for a reason. Just, you know, take the dive and ask away.
Yeah.
And we'd be more than happy to help you out.
So we'll check in with your most aligned pillar.
Most aligned pillar.
You have a goal right now that you can think of.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So your goal right now, and the pendulum going in a circle. So the goal right now, your most aligned pillar with that goal is trust.
Okay.
The pillar that you need to work on a little bit is worth.
Yeah. I kind of figured that would come up. Look at that.
Okay, so now I'm going to go into, I have a chakra chart. So which chakra can you work on to bring up that worth? Yeah. Okay, so that's the heart.
I'm all about the heart chakra.
Yeah, and the shadow aspect of the heart. So when emotional triggers come up when I'm doing my shifting in the second component of kinetic divination, the shadow aspect of the heart is unworthiness.
Yes. I know, and you know what? This is something it's in the family. It's like I don't even know the word or the title for it, but it's like a genetic inherited.
So actually, do you want to clear that right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So two ways we can clear it. So what I want you to do is, and if there is anybody here, please do stay with us and comment if you want something tested. But
sorry, Kylie was sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. She's muscle testing for what? That was her question.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So we can muscle test your alignment with your goal, your percentage of alignment. We can muscle test if you have an income a goal that you want to create this month. We can test your percentage, percentage of blockage or percentage of alignment.
Okay.
We can also muscle test, there's so many options, but we're working with the 7 pillars right now. So just like we did, we can check in with one of the 7 pillars that's your strongest and your weakest. So you know which one to work on.
Okay. All right. I hope that answers the question, because she said she's curious. So do your magic, Jillian.
Curiosity is good.
Yeah.
All right. So I want you to think of a whiteboard. So we can use this as kind of example. So a whiteboard is sort of like if you meditate and have used the movie screen. It's sort of the same thing. You visualize a whiteboard out in front of you. So if you were to think of a percentage of something that you know you deserve, something that you are, something that you're really good at, something that comes naturally to you.
I got it.
I want you to put it at 100% on the right.
Yeah.
0 is on the left, 100% is on the right. Now I want you to think of your goal right now. And I want you to think of your percentage of worthiness around that goal. And you're going to, just like you're going to throw spaghetti on the wall, you're going to throw the percentage of worthiness up onto the whiteboard. And you're going to see a percentage. You're going to see it land somewhere. Whether it's 40% worthiness or wherever it is, I want you to try to imagine grabbing it and moving it closer to 100%, because we want to feel like we're 100% worthy of our goals.
Definitely.
And when you move it, you might feel some resistance somewhere in your body. Your body might go, ooh, that doesn't feel very comfortable.
Yeah, I got butterflies just between my sacral and my solar. I felt that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So the next part is we want to ask if that is all yours. So does all of that belong to you?
No, I know it doesn't.
Okay. So there's two things that we'll do. One is the release statement. And that is, if this isn't mine, I release it.
Okay.
And I send it back to origin with consciousness attached.
Okay.
And does that go away, or does it become lighter?
Yeah, I felt it. It's lighter, definitely lighter.
So can you move that worthiness up closer to 100% now?
Heck yeah.
Good. Does it get stuck before 100%, or does it get right there?
It's weird. I just keep seeing 99%. I'm like,
okay,
come on.
And let's check in with the heart and worthiness.
Yeah.
And is there any weight? Is there any resistance there?
No, not anymore. I just seen it go.
Good.
Like, I just nudged it over, like, enough. That was the word I saw. Enough. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So now we want to think of the third component is, because there can't be any empty space in the universe. So we just created space around that. So I want you to think of and create a mantra or a script around being worthy of your goal. So I'm so grateful that this goal comes to me with ease. I'm so worthy of this goal coming to me with ease. Something that really resonates with you. If you use words in your mantras, scripts, or affirmations on a regular basis, create a mantra that you repeat on a regular basis, especially as you're going to sleep.
Okay.
When we go to sleep, it's important to program our subconscious mind with what we want instead of repeating the worries of what the things we don't want. Because our subconscious creates for us while we're sleeping.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wrote it like right now. I always have paper or notepads, pens. I always have stuff. I'm always scribbling. Like, I could listen to a talk and I come out with 4 pages of stuff, and it takes me 3 hours to watch a half-hour thing because I'm pausing. I'm
Yeah.
pausing. I'm always grabbing something. No, that was great. So I just wrote this down quickly. I am worthy of this goal. Someone is waiting for me to show up.
Mm. Yeah.
For me, that's powerful because it just takes one person. I know one person helped me. Many multiple persons helped me along the way. But let's just say they didn't show up. I wouldn't be here.
Right.
That's how I look at it. Okay. Thank you very much. That was beautiful.
You're welcome.
And Kylie is asking, she wants to know her block. She thinks it's an abundance block that also runs in her family, so she can relate.
Yes. So what I would suggest is blocks are something different. I actually have a course that's about to run. It's called Spiritual Earning. And we go through all of the money blocks. Money blocks are something totally different than the 7 pillars of alignment. We're talking alignment, how to get into alignment. The blocks, there are 40 common money blocks. And then there are the toxic money blocks. And then there are hidden money blocks that keeps us sabotaging our efforts. So those are totally different.
Okay.
If you do think that you have an abundance block that runs in your family, what you could do is what we just did. Feel into your goal, feel into where it's getting stuck in your body, and really acknowledge it and be grateful and say, thank you for coming up. Thank you for showing up, because that means it's ready to be released. And then you can do that release statement. If this is not mine, I release it and I return it to origin with consciousness attached. And see how much lighter that becomes.
Wow. I hope that helps, Kylie.
Yeah.
Let us know below. Share this out to your friends and family. We would so appreciate it. Yeah, it looks, normally I keep my show to around, well, 40, 45 minutes. But I mean, it depends on if there were a bunch more folks showing up, and I already know this, but they'll show up after. And they'll be like, oh, I missed this. And I understand there's so much on Facebook and there's so much online. So yeah, it's all good, guys. So if anything, we're still going to interact with you. Jillian is here no matter what, and she's got some freebies that she'd love to give out. So just let us know below if you'd like that, and we'll make sure we get a copy of either PDF or both to yourself. I know myself, I'm going to take them because I'm always wanting to learn something. Yeah. We are all students of the universe. And I am not, I used to think, worry about titles, that it was somehow important, and saying I was a master and this and that. No. We're ascending. We're all ascending. That's how I look at it. So,
very true.
All right. So Kylie says she will give it a go. Awesome. And let us know how it goes. We'd love to hear. We'd love to hear as well. So is there anything you'd like to close with? How do we get a hold of you? And I mean, I'll put all of your contacts in a message afterwards as well.
Yeah, I'm at jillianshager.com, and I'm always on Facebook. So you can hit me up, send me a private message on Facebook, or comment here, and I will respond. And I'll put the link into the comments with so that you guys can go and get that PDF of the 7 pillars of alignment. And this one is to attract your ideal client, but it's information about what the base of the 7 pillars and why they're so important when you're doing manifestation work. But in closing, I would really love for you guys to dive into different healing modalities, especially muscle testing, because it has the potential of allowing you to communicate with yourself, with your conscious, your subconscious, with your energy, with your higher self, with your cheer team. And it allows you to gain access to answers to the questions that you've always wanted answers to. You don't have to go anywhere outside of yourself. Your answers are always inside of you.
Yeah, beautiful. Exactly. It's always been there. It's always been there. Amazing. Thank you very much for your time, Jillian. And I look forward to, seeing your next book that's coming out. Do you have a timeline for that, or?
I don't. I'm actually rewriting a Kinetic Divination right now.
Okay.
So Kinetic Divination is available on Amazon, but possibly in September will be the new version, the updated version of the book. Okay. I do have 2 other books that are Morning Mantras for Allowing. That's a series of books. There's a Boss edition and there's a Love edition. And those are mantras that create change, bring the energy of change. And the Hay House book will be probably 2020 coming out, and it's called Dancing with Shadows.
Oh, cool. Nice. I love that. I can see it already. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much again, Jillian. And if you guys want the PDFs, if you want more information, comment below. Even if it's on the replay, you can still share this out. And I go live every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I also have my own freebies. I have a contest going on, and I'm pretty sure I'm at my the set point. I'm 300 likes. I'm going to be making a draw for 2 readings, so I have to go back and look at that. So that's coming up. If you want to be included, you have to go back to my Facebook page. The contest is pinned at the top, and just follow along and you're entered. So I don't know, I might be making that draw very shortly. As well, I also have weekly intuitive guided messages that I bring out every Monday. So your week is set. That's on YouTube. So just follow me. I'm pretty much on every social media, except for, I know there's a few others that are out there, but you know what? Can only show up so many times and spread yourself so thin. All right, guys, I want to wish you an amazing Wednesday. And thank you again, Jillian. And please remember, everyone, healing begins where the ego ends. Take care.
Thank you.